My name is Evelyn Rovalino. I'm the student support advisor here at the IGS, and I'm happy to welcome you to Understanding Your Fees workshop, in which we will be talking about many important things about your fees. So, the first thing I want to go through is the outline of what we will be covering today. So today we'll be talking, first we will be talking the learning outcomes, what I want you guys to learn out of this 15-minute workshop. Second, we will talk about the pro forma invoice and the admission letter. Then we'll be talking about the pending fees and credits, what they are, how to differentiate them, the academic calendars for you to get familiar, the payment options, and finally, the registrar office. So to start, what I want you guys to learn about this workshop is how to summarize your responsibility as a student. As advisors, we want to walk you through your journey here at the IGS, but also we want to make sure that you understand that you have your responsibilities as a student, which is to make sure that your fees are paid on time before the due date. So even if you paid for the whole year, it's important for you to check every term to see if there was any changes in your fees. Second will be to utilize the academic calendar. This is such an important topic for you guys because you will see all the dates that are to make a payment, when you will have your confirmation of graduation. So it contains a lot of valuable information. The third one will be to identify outstanding fees and credits. So we will talk about that going into your MyHumber. How can you differentiate when you have an outstanding fee and when you have a credit? Then will be evaluate which payment is best for you, depending on the timeline in which you're going to make your payment. And finally will be to express to the registrar office your concerns. So we understand that when it comes to fees and money, you can get a little bit overwhelmed or stressed. So we just want to make sure that you communicate to the registrar office your concerns. Okay, so once you register to Humber College, you receive your admission letter for all your application for your visas, but also you got a pro forma invoice like the one that you see in here. By nature, we immediately put our eyes in the money. So we see the amount that we have to pay. I would say 99% of the students forget to read what is on top. So these fees are just a guide. It's just something for you to have a reference of how much more or less is going to be costing your fees here at Humber College. So as you can see on the percentage, it says to be used as a guideline only and is subject to change. Students have to review and check their accounts before each term. So that's when all the confusion starts. So if you make a payment, let's say you pay for $17,983, you think that you already pay your fees. But again, this is just a guide. Chances are that the fees change. So what I will ask you now is to please log into your MyHumber. Here you can see the website. Just put your N number and your pass and go into your account. So once you are in your account, there are three possible scenarios that we will be discussing now. The first scenario is that you have some pending fees. Like I told you before, if you would take this example, in here, they say the first semester is $8,734, but actually the right amount is $9,089, meaning that there's a $415 that is still pending in your account. So when you see on the bottom, I know that in your account will look a little bit different, the layout, but it will contain the same words. So in the word balance, you will see you have a positive amount, meaning 415 plus 415, meaning that you owe this 415 to complete your tuition. The other scenario is that because you pay for your whole year, you have some money in here, sitting in there, that is your credit, meaning that is money in your favor. This is another excellent example to check how the fees can change. So for this student, the winter semester was $10,563, and he has left $10,277 for the next semester. Chances are that the next semester, summer, will be the same exact amount, meaning that there will be some fees pending that this student have to pay before being able to register to the fall semester. The third scenario is that your fees or your balance is in zero. meaning that you're ready to pay for the next semester. You did not pay for the whole year. You do not have any fees pending. You're just ready to go. So in this case, you have just to pay for your tuition deposit, and then the tuition pre-bill or the remaining balance will be generated by this system. Another thing I want to point out is for the credit is that you have a minus 10,277. The reason is because balance means something that you owe, money that you owe. So if you do not owe any money, you will have a minus, meaning that you have money in your favor. Okay, so just to differentiate, when you have positive amount, 450 means that you owe money. That's the balance that you're owing. When you have a minus and an amount, that means that that money is on your favor, that you pay in advance. And when you have zero, is that you have paid so far all your fees and you're ready to go to the next semester. So the next important thing for you to know is the academic calendar. So you can click or you can scan this QR code. You can also put academic calendar in Google, academic calendar Humber, and it will come up something that looks like this. So you have to click in Humber Post-Secondary Graduate Certificate, which is the programs that we offer here at the IGS, and select the next semester or the next term, which in this case will be summer 2023. In here in the bottom, you will see the next important dates to pay your fees or to review your fees. So the first one will be the tuition deposit. That will be on Wednesday, February 22nd, meaning you have to pay $1,000 for the total of your tuition fee. For example, if your tuition fee is going to be $10,000, you're paying in advance $1,000 and you have 9 more thousands to go that you have to pay by March 20. By March 27, when we start registration, you should have all your fees paid. Keep in mind, this is for students who did not pay for 2 semesters in advance, but they do have to make sure that there's no changes in their fees and there are no pendings or not pending fees in your account that will prevent you from registering. So that's why the academic calendar is so important, because it gives you the dates in which you have to make a payment. A lot of times students, because they pay for the whole year, think that they do not have to pay anything else. And then when they want to register, they have what is called a registration hold. So I invite you guys to please check your fees before February 22nd. If you have any question, you can call the Office of the Registrar so they can give you more information about the fees. Also, for those students who will be taking their co-op, they do not need to pay $1,000 for the tuition deposit. They have to pay for the amount of your co-op, which is $440. So just keep that in mind for those students who are going to the co-op. They do not need to pay the $1,000. They have to pay just the amount for their co-op. For those students who are going to a second, third, fourth semester, they do need to pay the $1,000. So the system will generate the rest of the balance of your account into your account, okay? Your balance for your fees. So now that you know when you have to pay, let's talk about payment options. So there's 3 ways that you can pay. The first one is using a credit card. This is the fastest way you can pay your fees. You can do it in your MyHumber, but it has a downside that it charges you an additional 2.5% on top of your tuition fee. That 2.5% doesn't go to us, that goes to the credit card companies. The good thing is that in 5 minutes, you can see the payment posted into your account. So for those of you who are very close to the deadline, you will have to use a credit card just because you don't want to miss the deadline. The second option is the Canadian Bank. It's my personal favorite because it's the cheapest, it's free, and you can do it as a convenient from your online banking, or you can do it in your bank. So for the first time, I always suggest students to please go to the bank, make the line, and talk to the teller. All the banks already have the information of all the colleges. So you have just to say that you want to pay your tuition for Humber College, and they already have our account number, all our codes. Make sure that you also include your student N number, N015, your personal number, okay? So when we receive that money, we know to which student it belongs, that money. Keep in mind that it takes between 3 to 4 business days for us to receive the money. So that's the downside. So if you have enough time to make a payment by the bank, I really recommend you guys, but just make sure that we receive the money by the due date. So in this case, will be by February 22nd. For those who have to pay a tuition deposit, you will have to do it at least 4 days in advance. Okay. And the last one that I'm sure everybody's familiar with is Flywire. That's if your family is going to pay in your behalf. The only way that we take international wires is by Flywire. And the downside about this is that it's the most expensive option, and also it takes more time for us to receive the money. It will be between 5 to 8 business days. So if you're planning to use this method of payment, please make sure that you count the number of days that it will take for Flywire to transfer the funds into our account. The next one is if for whatever reason you make a payment and your tuition is still not showing, or you still have a registration hold, you need to call the register office. They are the ones that have the fees department, and they will be able to walk you through. So in here, you can find their phone number and their email address. If you are contacting them during registration week, you have to keep in mind that we will be receiving a very high volume of calls and emails. So it will take for emails up to 3 business days for them to reply. And if you're calling them, you will have to wait around 40 to 45 minutes to get somebody on the phone. So that's why it's so important to always refer to the academic calendar and check your fees in advance to avoid any of these complications. In the scenario that you have to call the register office, make sure you express your concerns clearly, meaning you can say, I have a registration hold, I already paid my fees, I don't know why my fees have not been applied for the next semester, for example, will be one of the concerns that you can show to the register office. In that way, they can check your fees and make the adjustments. Once the adjustments are be done, it will take between 4 to 5 hours the hold to be lifted, and then you can register to your classes. Finally, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through the Ask the Question in the IGS portal. So if you go to igs.humber.ca, on the top banner, you will see a tab that says Ask a Question. I check those questions 4 times a day. So chances are that I will get back to you on the same day or the next one. So just going back to our learning outcomes, I just want to make sure that you understand and you identify your fees, that you are able to navigate the academic calendar, and that you can communicate and you can express your concerns to the register office. Thank you for joining me today. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact